Hey everyone, welcome back to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so grab a brush, grab some paints, grab some models, and paint along with me. Let's rid our world of unpainted models. Yes! Today I am continuing to work on my Ad Mech Army. It's really coming down to a few more models. It's going to be good. After this week's episode, I'm going to have probably about half a dozen more models to paint. And that's great. My goal is to finish it by the end of May, so I'll film a couple more Painting with Jays regarding this topic regarding painting Ad Mech, and we'll keep going from there. As always, a huge shout out to Cody Rue and Adam. You missed a spot. Let's get started. Let's talk about quarantine. Yes. Hey everyone. So let's get back to painting. I'm working on some Sicarian infiltrators. Cool. I have 5 of them left to do. As you can see, they've been I put on their basing material. I just haven't finished, basing them. Paint their bases. This is basically what a finished product will look like. So I have a little bit more to paint, obviously, but they're coming along, and yeah, I have 5 more to. These are the 5 I'm finishing. Let me just put my phone down. So yeah, let's paint these guys today. I'm going to work on the blues first, on the taser goads, and talk about life. I hope all of your quarantines and isolations, or whatever they're called, are going okay. Hope my viewers are staying healthy, staying safe. They're getting a lot of models painted, right? That's what we're doing. If you can't go outside, might as well get stuff done around the house or paint some models, right? By the end of this, I'm going to have an entirely painted Ad Mech Army. And it was cool that I talked about during, I think it was last video or 2 videos ago, I don't remember which one, but obviously I am hoping that in the very near future. So right now I'm just going to take some Calendar Sky, and paint the blues. And so, I'm really looking forward to the new Ad Mech models, and so I'm going to definitely be buying couple of them for sure. I'm thinking I might buy 2 boxes of each one if I'm thinking about it. At least 2 boxes of the horses, because I don't think 5 of them is going to be enough, or 3 of them is going to be enough. I think 6 would be good. I want to have some fun. And that'll be cool. And maybe 1 or 2 boxes of the flyer of the jump pack guys when they come out, right? That'd be cool. I don't think I'm going to buy the plane. We'll see. I don't really use a lot of flyers. I'm not a flyer person. They're cool. Like, they're a good part of the list. I just never use them. It's just one of the things I don't use. I don't know. But, I don't know. We'll see. That's cool. So I'm going to paint some of the wiring. I'm just going to get a smaller brush here because this was way too big of a brush. Why did I grab that big of a brush? Let me go to like a 00. Good. My brushes are really starting to split lately. I've been cleaning them and trying to preserve them using brush, the brush preserver cleaner. But they are pretty old. I've had these brushes for a few years now, and I've used them many, many, many times. The amount of models I paint with them, huge, so we'll see. Yeah, I can't wait. They look awesome, and I just can't wait. There was a big Warhammer preview that happened over the last couple weeks. My overall thing was okay. Like, I think there were a lot of things to preview, and for a lot of games. Like, for me, there wasn't really anything that jumped out to me that I was like, oh, awesome, because really I'm really far into painting a lot of my 40K armies, and there wasn't really that much 40K. There was Fabius Bile, which was cool. The Fabius Bile looks like an awesome model. I thought this one has it does. But that's cool. Fabius Bile looks cool. I'm not going to buy him, obviously. And the lion was really cool. Maybe I'll pick him up in the future one day when I'm done all my 40K models, paint a 30K model. But you know, there wasn't a lot that was really like blowing me away. I loved more the previous set of releases of previews where I was talking about the Ad Mech stuff, right? So that was the stuff for me. And obviously, there was some cool 40K, some cool fantasy. So there's a bunch for everything. A bunch of everything for everyone. That was good. Just not a lot that really appealed to me specifically, but that's okay. You know what? There will be some in the future. There will be some that, you know, I don't play all the armies. Seems like I do sometimes, but I don't. And so some things will appeal to me and some won't. That's okay, right? I'm gonna wait a few months until the Goskal Thrakon model comes out on its own. I've decided that I'm not buying the box set. Just not worth it to me. I don't have use for most of the models. You know, as I said, I have tons of knobs, and it's good value for your money, especially if you have a friend who wants to play Space Wolves or vice versa, right? And I know I could use like the squad of Space Marines. I could just use them as normal vanilla Marines, but I don't really want to paint them any more vanilla Marines. I don't play Space Wolves, so the Space Wolves HQ doesn't have any purpose for me. And I have a feeling that like eBay is going to be flooded with, you know, them. So we'll see. Yeah, so I'll wait till one day. I can still use my old one, right? If I ever get to play Orcs. Again, before that, you know, I get the model, and that's okay. I just don't want to. I don't want to pay. It's like $200 Canadian, and it's just not worth it to me, right? Because if you're not going to get good value from it, I could just see if I can eBay a Goskal Thrakon. That's the other option, but the prices are huge. That's the other thing. So I was just on eBay the other day looking for like Thraka models to see what people are trying to put up. Way too expensive, like $90. I'm not going to pay half the price of the kit. I'm betting it's going to be like $55 when it comes out, maybe 60. So I'm not going to pay 80 right now, 90 right now. I don't need it that badly. And so while I was on eBay, I was actually just looking at other armies, like Ad Mech, my next army I'm going to paint, which is Gene Stealer Cult. Surprise. And I was looking to see if there's any deals. And I was actually really disappointed. I haven't bought on eBay in a while. I really haven't. I do buy like used models from my game store every now and then. I usually just buy, you know, things on sale or box sets that I can combine, you know, the good value. Like I bought the detachment for Ad Mech, and I bought the big like Christmas box set a couple years ago, 3 years ago, for Gene Stealer Cult, right? Or the Start Collecting box sets, which are great value for their money too. I had 2 Start Collecting Skitarii box sets back in the day. I think it's now just called Ad Mech box sets. But yeah, good way. I like to build armies for cheaper, because why pay more for an army when you can pay less, right? I do buy used models at some of the Rangers. I finished painting. I bought them from a local store, fixed them up, stripped them, repainted. Good, right? I might do it again when the store is open again, which who knows how long it's going to be. It could be tomorrow. It won't be tomorrow, but it could be tomorrow, hypothetically. Could be a month from now. Could be a year. You know, I don't think it's going to be a year. Could be a few more months. But by the time that few more months rolls around, I just got to figure out a way to order paints But in that time of a few more months, I'm not going to have many more models left. I have a lot of Genestealer Cult. That's the last new army I'm painting. And then I have a few, probably Grey Knights, I'm thinking, will be my last actual set of models I have to paint. I have a few Grey Knight models outstanding that I need to finish. And just give the army some TLC. It was the first army of, you know, this edition. And it was the worst army of this edition for most of the edition. I know there's a new edition probably coming out in a little while. So I don't know if GW is going to be affected. The release schedules, I don't know how it's going to be affected by this situation. Don't know if it'll get pushed back. I was assuming there was going to be a new edition this summer, as there normally has been. We'll see. But by the time the new edition rolls around, I'm going to have plenty of armies to play. I already had plenty of armies to play, but I'll have even more. I'm definitely going to see if I can play some more tournaments. That's the one thing I really do. I should get in more games. I really do want to play. I've been painting so much, and it's great that I've had the drive to really work on these Ad Mech. You know, before Ad Mech was my Imperial Knights. Before Imperial Knights was Space Marines. Wow, it's been going by. These painting with J's have really added up to a lot of painted models. And I'm hoping that you out there who have been painting along with me have seen similar results. You know? I really do. What was I saying? Oh yeah, eBay. That's what going back. I'm just dancing all over the place. In West Philadelphia, I was born and raised. No kidding. So, eBay. I went on eBay, and I was actually really disappointed. The prices really kind of sucked. Now I get it. Most of the eBay items were in the States, and the shipping is terrible to get to Canada. Whatever. I understand that part, but it really doesn't seem like people get eBay. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm miscommunicating with eBay. Like, my interpretation of eBay is not what people interpret eBay. But I thought eBay was supposed to be, you know, for people wanting to save money. Wow, it was like every box that I was looking at on eBay, I could buy cheaper from my local gaming store, GW, or pretty much any retail store in the area that you know, like I buy from Meeple Mart in Toronto, for example, because they'll ship to my house. And there was no justification to pay any money on eBay versus buying from these places. I'd rather buy a new model, to be honest. I buy used models. I do like buying used models because then that way I can, you know, clean them up, and their models, it's good, like giving the model home, right? It's cool to me that, because no one's going to use them, might as well, right? But there's no justification when I can buy a new model that I can paint well and assemble the way I want, so I don't have to assemble the way you have it, for cheaper than a used model that, to be honest, most of them aren't well painted. There were some nicer paint jobs, but of course those ones are like... And also that's the thing, like, since, again, I don't really look at eBay anymore. I really don't. Holy moly, about the number of postings that were like, pro-painted, or well-painted. No, they weren't. They're not well-painted. They're not pro... I don't mean to be rude, but... I'm not an amazing painter, you know? I paint to a high tabletop. I'm not a Golden Demon winner. But oh my goodness, these are not well-painted models. Like, what is the definition of well-painted these days? It seemed like it was like 3-color minimum is well-painted. Regarding the Genestealer Cult models I was looking at, I'd say half of the well-painted models simply were used contrast. Right? So what, 4 contrast colors on them? And it's well-painted. Like, no. No. So I'm not going to pay... It was like, it would end up being almost like 20% more. 20% more to buy this used model. And why? Right? Then I'm gonna have to strip or paint over. Now, if I'm probably gonna actually I've decided that I think I'm gonna have fun and do an entire army using contrast to give them a true test. Maybe except for the characters, but I'm gonna paint the whole Gene Stealer Cult army because I have a lot of troops using contrast paints, and I want to do and basing the basing paints. Just try them. Do a whole army, have fun. It'll be kind of my lowest painted standard army, but I don't care. It's cool. Like I'm gonna have fun. It'll be a fun army. I'm looking forward to playing on the tabletop. Cool. Let's do it. So I've decided that. That's how I'm gonna paint my next army. So it's gonna be just a lot of assembling. I'm gonna prime white probably, because I do have a white primer from Stynorez that I love to use, and cool. But that's the standard on eBay, and that's under well painted. I'm like, no, and I don't want to sound rude. I'm not sounding rude. Like if you're out there using contrast paints, it's not that you're not painting well, but when you say well painted on, like that used to be a standard. Like well painted, you'd be like, okay, like this is something I'd bring to a tournament and compete for best painted. Well painted, you know? And now it's just like, okay, used 3 color minimum, or it's like, I get it. You don't want to put not well painted on your eBay posting. I get that. That makes sense. But like this, right? This is not a high tabletop standard or anything. This is a decent tabletop standard. It's more than 3 color minimum. Everything is highlighted, right? I'm gonna do more reds later to make that because they're a little flat. But this surpasses what most people call well painted on eBay. So I was really disappointed, and I looked, and it's like, okay, and in some cases you can see like offer history, and these models have been on eBay for a long time. For a long time. And it's like someone puts their house up for a price that they think, hey, my house is worth this, and then like 8 months go by and no one's put an offer on. Like that's the situation. And it kind of annoys me. Like, come on. If you put items on eBay, if you're a professional painter, but like, if you make a Golden Demon quality model painting, or a centerpiece level, I get it. You can put that model on eBay and make some money if someone wants to buy it as a centerpiece for their army. Good job, right? That's a great job. I know, like years ago, in the early times, like Awesome Paint Job, right? Les used to do that, and he was a really good painter. Great painter, made a little bit of money that way. It was like a free commission, basically. So when he was out of commissions, he would just paint a model, sell it on eBay. Cool, and that makes sense to me. That one, okay, like okay. But the problem is it's all art, and it's like, how do you value your art? And some people undervalue their art. When I was doing commissions, I was definitely one of those people that I think I undervalued my time, and so I didn't charge much at all. And now I'm just gonna take some white and lighten this up a little bit and repeat. I didn't value my art, and I agree with that. But then there's people who really overvalue their art, and I'm like, okay, or like again, if you put a model on eBay, I get it. If you put a brand new box on eBay, like a brand new box, I won't blame you or judge or anything if you are trying to get your money back. If you're trying to turn a profit on a brand new item that you can get at a local store, you're not going to get your money. I'm sorry. But on a brand new box, now I do know some people who like buy box sets, disassemble them, and sell them for parts. Okay, you can do that too. You definitely can do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to get your money. If you're not going to get the money, if you try to something that is available at a local store, if you're going like, hey, I laugh. I'm like, how did you think that price? How? If it costs me more to buy the box from you than it does Games Workshop. Now, obviously, I live in Canada, and in Canada we have we're on the more expensive side of the spectrum. You know, we're not Australia or New Zealand, but we are on the more, like, if you cross the border from Canada, United States to Canada, like, the prices of GW stuff just goes up a third. You know? And I get that. Maybe they're trying to target people like in Australia or someone in the smaller markets. Cool. But I'm like, come on. You know, I'd never put something on eBay and expected to make money in the end. Or in some cases, you can get my money back. Like if I put a used model on eBay, it was probably, in most cases, just to get it out off my you know, out of my office. Something I wouldn't I wasn't gonna paint, or something I pre-painted and I just had no use for. You know, it makes no sense. Like, and I get it. Some people are out there like, I'm really trying to make money on this. Cool, great, good for you. But man, the standards of painting, it's like, and these days, the standard of painting, like I am okay, but the standard of painting has just only gotten better and better and better and better since I started getting back in the hobby about, 8-9 years ago. 12 years ago. Holy moly. But, yeah. It's just funny to me. I don't know. And I'm like, I guess you just gotta throw your line out there and wait, and hopefully a fish will bite, because that's all you can do. Because maybe someone will eventually bite. I don't know. So I'm just gonna clean up the reds now. I think that's it for the pipes things. So the taser coats, they're pretty much done. So I'm gonna just highlight up do some edge highlighting along the reds, start the basing, and then maybe I'll let them dry and come back to my painting with Jay after they're dry. Do a little magic of television here. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Sort of discussion in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on eBay? Like, do you feel that people kind of overestimate their painting skills? Do you see the value? Are you one of those people that says well painted and maybe they're not, or maybe yours are well painted, right? That's it too. But do you guys find that, and girls find that the amount of people that say well painted or pro painted, or it's getting a little silly, and it really takes away from. So right now I'm just going to take some Evil Sun Scarlet, do some edge highlightings. It takes away from the quality of your work, because then you're like, well, I actually am pro painting, or I'm actually well painted. Like it's interesting. I don't know. Like if I put well painted on mine, I would be like, wow, there's a difference. I don't know. And it's weird that people are trying to, like, I always associate eBay with the discount location, right? The people are trying to move used models and you get a good price. But if I'm not going to get a good price on eBay, I'm not going to buy on eBay, right? I don't know if people understand that, right? If you're trying to sell me an item that I can get for a better price at my gaming store, I'm not buying from you. I'm going to buy from my gaming store. I'm not going to pay for shipping, and it's not supporting a company. Wow, it's really windy outside. It is cold. Spring came and then spring went away again, and now it's back to winter. We got snow again yesterday. It didn't stay on the road, but it snowed for a bit. I really just want to get my winter tires off. Just because it feels good having your normal tires on. Like, it's the feeling of, hey, my winter tires are off. And for me, I keep my winter tires on until the average temperature of a day goes above 7 degrees Celsius. Or, what would that be? 45 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly. And where I live right now in Canada, it is not. The lows are, the highs aren't even, like today the high is only like 5 degrees Celsius, 6 degrees Celsius. So it's still in potential snow territory. In some years, like this year, I'm going to have my winter tires on longer than my normal tires. And it used to be that winter tires were on for like 3 months, right? They're winter tires. Winter tires. But I gotta clean off this brush. The paint is getting very close to the ferrule. But, you know, like you have winter tires. Winter's a season, you say, so winter tires should be on for 3 months, you know? But now, winter tires, like I put them on in October, late October, early November. It's April, and they're still on. So, yeah. Disappointing eBay, that's all I'm saying. I don't know, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on eBay? As I said, I was like, wow, these are not good prices. Why would I want to buy them? And I think, I do feel that a lot of these people are just going to put an item on eBay and renew the ad every 30 days. And yeah, that's cool to happen. Yeah. I've been enjoying painting Ad Mech. They've been fun. I'm not the biggest fan of painting reds. But it's been a fun army to paint. You know, I've had these models, most of these models, for a really long time, just waiting to be painted. You know, the majority of my Ad Mech models I've had since before I got to, like, I was married when I bought them, years ago. And I've played so many games against my friend Dave and his Ad Mech, and I'm like, all right, one day I'm going to have my Ad Mech painted. And it's been really cool to have my Ad Mech painted now. So next time I play Dave, I can field Ad Mech. Now, depending on how long this quarantine thing's going on, I might be done all my models before I play Dave. We'll see. I'm going to have some choice. Because since even the last time I've seen Dave, I've painted... It seems like every time we're supposed to play against each other, just something happens. Like, we've just had some terrible luck. But I've painted... I finished my Space Marine army, since I've seen them. I painted all my knights, and I've painted... by that time, yeah, I don't think I'm going to see them this month, probably. I think the quarantine will continue on till the end of the month. So, that's way too strong of a highlight. So yeah, then the Ad Mech will be done. So, don't even know what I'm going to field next time. It might be Ad Mech. We'll see. It might not be. It might be Genestealer Cult by the time I see him. Cool. Done. So I'm just going to take some black paint, paint the bases, get it all blackened, and go from there. Let's just put some... That was a little too much. Whatever. Whatevs. So, let's paint some bases. As you can see, and I'll clean up these guys after too. I missed a spot like Adam right there. Hey Adam, you missed a spot. Yeah. Yeah, I've enjoyed painting these guys. It's been fun. I really do like Ad Mech. Ad Mech was one of the armies that when I saw them come out, I was like, I really do want to paint them. So the Scutari came out first, and then Cult Mechanicus, and then they merged them wisely, because they wasn't, you know, even with this combined codex, and the new models coming out, there's still not a lot of choices. Currently there's only 2 fast attack choices before the new edition, so there should be 4 in the end. There's only 2 heavy choices. Yeah. There's robots. I'm trying to think of this. There's only like one. Yeah, there's 2 heavy choices. I'm pretty sure. There's only like 2 troops choices. No, 4 troop choices. 4 troop choices. And technically, there's some forged ones too. So they really got to flesh out this codex. Hopefully, in the near future. It's a cool codex. Maybe some more heavy support choices. Because in 40k, I do find that I'm always very heavy, no pun intended, on the heavy support choices. Because the game is a shooting game, and the heavy support choices are usually the best shooters. Usually. Not all codices, but many. There we go. 1 down. Next one. Yeah. But some more heavy support choices. I do have some robots. And the good thing about Ad Mech, of course, is that you can always combine with knights. Right? Knights fit in with the codex, which is great. It's good synergy. But it's cool. I really do love... I don't play a lot of... probably because I'm not the most competitive-minded individual. I've never been someone who brings a lot of combined detachments. You know? I was never somebody who brought the cheesiest cheese. And if I brought a competitive army, it'd all be one army. The synergy, especially, I really did not take advantage of that in this edition. Like, I know all the Eldar players were playing Dark Eldar and Eldar, and the Imperial Soup players, and, you know, all that jazz. I never did that. Probably because I don't play ITC or ETC level tournaments, and I don't play win at all cost gaming. I buy a little bit of everything. If you notice that I've kind of bought a little bit of everything, it's because I do. I buy a little bit of everything. I like doing that. I just don't want to buy 800 of the same thing. I don't think that's how, in my opinion, the game was created. But that's okay. Those who play it, awesome. It's your style. Just not my style. And so you know, if I brought a knight to a tournament, I'd feel weird, but I probably would. Like if I brought Ad Mech and I wanted to bring a knight, just because the only thing about knight is they do absorb a lot of points, especially if it's like a 2,000 point tournament. It makes things so much easier if you bring a knight because they're so and the shooting is efficient. The shooting isn't the most efficient because a lot of shots, but the movement is efficient. If it dies, it's very efficient, right? I do tend to bring smaller squads. A smaller number of squads in tournaments because I like to get a lot of the game in. It's always that you versus the clock situation, and then it's you and your opponent versus the clock, and then there's like 15 minutes left, and your opponent and you look at each other and be like, well, should we play another turn? You know, I don't like that. I like to bring lists that... Now, I've played a lot of tournaments where most of my opponents do the exact opposite. They bring lists that are just designed to spam as many things as possible. And I'm like, okay, you're probably going to win because I can't kill all those models. Right? Like the new Orcs rules. I would love... Now, I do have the models. I could probably go back and paint them later. I have like 80 Gretchen. But, you know, I could field a 200 Gretchen army and bring it to a tournament, and I'd probably... You know, you'd have a chance of winning best if there's like a best themed list because everyone's going to laugh. Won't be the most competitive. It would annoy the crap out of your opponent though when you better re-movement trays because you're going to put that many models on the table and then to move them and then to remove them, and it's like, oh my goodness, your opponent is not going to be a happy camper. Again, it's fun. There's a player in my old meta who used to do that. Bring, like, swarms. Now, he did have movement trays, But I felt like every game, the guy was, I don't think I ever remember the guy winning in a tournament. I think he was always like playing for a draw. Because you couldn't get into his back. It almost came down to like whoever got first blood. Because with it, and it usually wasn't him. Because it's such a tar pit army that you're going to stall your opponent. They're not going to get into your back lines. Because you have to kill 30, grots. But you're not going to get into his back lines because your 30 grots are going to get tar pitted pretty fast too. So, yep, you're basically just playing a tournament for fun, which is good. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing a tournament for fun as well. But you're not playing to win. And in fact, a list like that, it'd be pretty hard to win, as I said. Because your opponent will just be like, okay, so if I kill a squad, I can get first strike. Turn 1, get first strike. You now have to reciprocate and get first strike. Because if not, as I said, there could be a situation where maybe like an objective mission where, I don't know, like the one where it's in the center of the table, right? The relic, maybe. And now orcs, again, grots are awesome. Like the new rules, they're pretty cool. I think it's a fun list. It's not going to win you the game. Unless your opponent is like perfectly designed to be anti-mech. And will las cannon 3 grots to death a turn. Cool. But they're, strength 3 shooting, or strength toughness 2. Everything's wounding them on 2s pretty much. Now they get their invul now, if you take the special squads. But, yeah. Maybe worth trying one day. I was actually going to donate... I had a local orc player. Who was collecting them in insane amounts. He didn't really paint much. He just kind of collected. He had a lot. Like he had, I think he had like 5 or 6 Big Mechs with shock attack guns. All right, and he played. He played a lot of fun games, like Apocalypse style, basically, or unbalanced games, and had a lot of good fun. And then I think he kind of got overwhelmed and broke, and left the meta. He left the game, and then sold off all his grots. And I was actually going to donate a bunch of the old plastic ones to him, the 2nd edition plastic ones. I said, I think I have like 50, maybe 80. And he didn't want them in the end because he was getting out of the hobby. So I still have those. When I painted my orcs, I didn't paint them. So there'll be something I can return to in the future. But, yeah. All these bases are coming along. Cool. Okay. Where are we at? 38 minutes. I really don't have anything right now to paint on the side of these. I have to assemble most of my remaining models and prime. So let's pause it here. Cool, look at that. We paused, we came back, now the paint is dry. So now I'm just going to take some, let's keep working on these guys. I'm going to take some Mornfang Brown, do a quick dry brush to bring out the texture on the base, As you can see, it's now dark, and I'm just going to bring out the textures with some brown. And then I'll do it again with a lighter brown. working on the bases. As you can see, it's bringing out. It's harder to see now, but it's still, you can definitely see some browns. As I said when I was painting my guy's last video, I really do regret not doing margin. I decided I just go with the rest of my army color scheme, but I should have done margin. Whatever. Should have, could have, would have. It would have been good. Would have been good. Yeah. Also, it's been very interesting, of course, with these times that we're going through right now. All the world leaders, you know, different things are happening, like Boris Johnson, unfortunately. I know I have some British viewers. Their PM is in the hospital. I think he's not in the ICU anymore. I think he got out of the ICU. So hopefully he gets better soon. Of course, in Canada, it didn't really make the news that much in the States. But in Canada, Justin Trudeau, in the middle, he was doing Q&A recently, yesterday, and he just kind of used some awkward expression, and you could tell instantly on his face. He was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to say that," and it's kind of taken off as a viral song, and people in the news were talking about it. He was talking about how wearing masks prevent people who might be infected from speaking moistly to people who aren't. And yeah, speaking moistly kind of took off when you talk about speaking moistly. So that's pretty funny. That was pretty funny. So there's even a viral song. Feel free to look it up. Justin Trudeau sings "Speaking Moistly." Kind of reminds me of How I Met Your Mother. Lily hates the word moist. Is this in focus? Might not be. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's in focus. That was pretty funny. And of course, Trump. Yeah. Different countries are handling it differently. Of course, I don't think any country's in the clear yet, other than maybe countries that it's all blown over, you know. Like Wuhan, China, cases have drastically dropped. Certain places in Canada, the cases have drastically dropped. BC. British Columbia actually had the worst start of all of Canada. And they were apparently able to get some good measures going and prevent it from spreading too insanely. And it's had really slowed cases. Over the last week, they've really slowed down. Ontario is still really going strong with cases, unfortunately. Yeah. Ontario's been spreading. Of course, Ontario is the most densely populated province in all of Canada, and one of the things is, obviously, the density is one of the problems, right? The more dense you are, the easier something like this is able to spread, which makes sense. Or likely you come in contact. Also, people in Toronto, some of them aren't social distancing, I guess. Or physical distancing, as I prefer to call it, because I don't like the term social distancing. It doesn't sound right to me. If I'm being social, I'm not 2 meters away from someone. I don't know. That's my call on that. But the biggest thing is like in Bobcaygeon, so near where I live right now, there's the worst per capita case in all of Canada. Is a senior's home, a senior care home has it, and more than half the people in the senior care home have died in the last couple weeks. It's been very, very tragic. A bunch of the nurses and the healthcare people there are sick as well. And really it's been a tragic incident. You may have heard of Bobcaygeon. There's a song by the Tragically Hip called Bobcaygeon. Because the lead singer, Gord, lived for a while in Bobcaygeon. there we go. So the next one I'm going to take is just some XV88. Repeat this process a little bit. Another light dry brush to bring up some texture and add some color, and then we'll do some quick grass gluing. And then these guys are basically done. I'll clean them up after as well. But that's basically it. Simple color scheme. Simple. I don't mind if I get dirt on their feet because it makes it just look more realistic. Makes sense. But these guys will be done, and then I'm down to 6 more models. So I have 3 more dragoons. I have 3 of the dragoons to paint. I have 2 more Tech Priest Dominuses that I'm doing in a Metallica color scheme. As you see, this really brings out the color. Yeah, so I have Tech Priest Dominuses. And then I have, to finish up, Belisarius Call. It was almost done. Probably a couple hours, maybe an hour left on him, plus basing and all that stuff. Yeah. So my goal is to finish by the end of May. I think I'm well on my way to the goal. I have to assemble the dragoons. That's the only thing, and I have to prime the dragoons as well. And that's gonna be the next. I'm gonna paint the dragoons next because I think it'd be cool to paint 3, 2, 1. You know, 3 dragoons, 2 tech priests, 1 Belisarius Call, and then finish. 3, 2, 1, done. That was kind of cool. I didn't have a 4 because there were 5 of these guys. But yeah, that's all. You know, it's been a good time painting these. And then by the time I'm done them, I'm gonna start my next army, and then shortly afterwards, I'm guessing the new Ad Mech guys will be released. I'm guessing they're gonna probably be released sometime in June, or May or June, probably May, because they are the next book. But I don't think the next book's gonna be released while GW's on lockdown. So, while they're on quarantine, so it'll be probably, my guess is probably May or June. They'll come out. Yeah, and then I'll paint them. You know, I'll buy a few boxes. I haven't spent a lot of money this year, so on models, and they'd be a cool way to flesh out my army. And I'm kind of able to take off the mental burden because I am really in the home stretch. Honestly, I can see the empty spaces in my workshop. There we go. The amount of empty space is getting huge. The amount of boxes is getting few. Alright, so let's get some glue. My glue brush. Some grass. The grass block. As you can see here, ooh, grass block. Maybe I'll just let down a little bit. Refocus. Good. So I'm going to flock these guys. Put some grass block on them. But, yeah. But yeah. These, I can't wait. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, people. And I'm hoping that somewhere in internet land, you are too. That you're seeing the light at the end of your tunnel, that you're really starting to see a difference, and that the models are disappearing from having to be painted, and they're painted, and then you know, like I'm loving this feeling. I'm gonna put a lot of grass in these guys, spaces, a couple patterns. It's it's been fun. As I said, these Ad Mech guys, I've had some of them for 5 years. You know, I've had my orcs. I had orcs for many, many years too. Yeah, so many years. I can't even. Something there. I'm running out of glue. Some here. And it's been very cool. Through just dedication, these painting with J's, through just painting. It's been a lot of fun, and I am really excited to. This is the year. This is the year where at least I'm gonna have all my 40K armies painted. All of them. It's to most people it sounds like a pipe dream. They laugh, you know, but and I have a lot of points of 40K. Like, it's not like I, you know. And then what I'm going to do, play it by ear. If I see a model that I really want and want to increase my army with, I'll buy it. Buy it, assemble it, paint it up with no guilt. Yep. And, oh, just threw a bunch of flock, a bunch of grass flock out of the box. Good. One done. Gotta keep track. Which one's yeah. I need to make some more, mix of my glue. I use a 2-to-1 glue to water mix usually. I just try to make a random, you know, pattern. This one off the base. That's awesome. You know, so now I have 10 stalkers. Sorry, infiltrators. They're rust stalkers, but they're infiltrators. I like the infiltrators better. I like this combination. So, yeah, that's why I built them. But it's gonna be I can't wait to play with these guys. I should get into when the gaming gets back on. I'm gonna see. Problems with the tournaments is I'm always working that weekend. It always seems I work every 3 weekends. It seems like I'm always working the weekend of a tournament. But I should get into a tournament. Bring these, have some fun. I don't care if I win or lose, just have fun. Play in a few games. I'll have to learn the rules ahead of time. I don't want to be that guy who brings an army to a table and has no clue what I'm doing. But it'd be good. That's a lot of glue. Whatever. And that's it. I'm going to be done these guys today. On to the next model. So my next painting with Jay, I'll have probably the Dragoons working on. It's getting a lot of airbrushing at the beginning, but I should be able to paint afterwards. Yeah. Cool. So as you can see, I have now some finished rust stalkers. Of course, I'll clean up the details. You know, if I missed a spot like Adam, I'll clean them up later. And they're done. I'm gonna let the glue dry for a bit and clean up the details, and then I'm done. I am officially done my 5 Sicarian stalkers. Look at that. Cool. Not too complex of a color scheme, but it works. Definitely more than, you know, looks good. So let's end now. So that concludes another Painting with Jay. I really hope you got some work done and that your world is being ridden about painted models, right? This is a great time to catch up on painting models since I really, you know, can't really do much. Can't really go outside much. Can't do a whole lot, so might as well paint. That's what I'm doing. And so my 5 infiltrators are going to be done. I'm down to 6 Ad Mech models. I still have to assemble 3 of them. Or, yeah, all the Dragoons. I might paint the legs separately from the bodies because they're different, 2 different colors. Makes things easier. But yes, so I'm going to keep painting. I'm going to keep working hard on my Ad Mech. I really hope you're ridding your world of unpainted models too, because that's what this is all about. And this is the time. 2020 is going to be the light at the end of the tunnel year for me, and I hope you can reach that year soon too for you. So the key is, of course, don't buy as many models and paint as much as you can. But I'm so excited to get all these models on the table and to get them into battle reports if I ever film them again and playing games. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So, as always, this video is brought to you by my Patreon campaign. Link in the description below if you want to help support my videos. It's because of them that I can set some time to make these videos. As you can see, their names go by my head. Huge thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. And stay tuned for more Painting with Jay. I really hope you enjoyed this episode and painted along. And I'll see you again soon. So, until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting with me.